There is no such thing as being self-made. I hear this word all the time. We would like to throw it around: self-made millionaire, self-made billionaire. I did it all by myself. I got it out the mud. However you want to articulate it, this is something that is very popular in present day vernacular, which is this concept, this idea that one could pull oneself up by their own bootstraps without the help of anybody else at all, completely autonomously finding success or achieving their goals, achieving their dreams, acquiring what they need to survive, and all those good things. But that is a level of delusion that would make a clinical patient blush, okay? Because no matter what you are doing, you need others to get there. At the very beginning of your life, you need two people to come into this world. And even if you are even say genetically modified into existence, right? You don't even need a mother and a father, biologically speaking. You still need scientists who either created the AI that created you or created you directly using splicing. No matter what, there's other entities involved, whether they're human or not. Autonomous, sentient, biological, artificial, silicone, you get the point, right? So just to even come into existence requires things outside of your control, other people, entities involved. That's not to mention raising. You're not raising yourself from birth. And this goes up all the way up to the line, which is even the concept of selling things. If you're a self-made billionaire, right? Self-made, you didn't need anyone else. Well, you needed customers, you needed other people involved. You needed other humans involved to sustain you or to make sure the lights are on or helping you in your business. A true self-made billionaire would be somebody, or millionaire, or any individual who's successful who did it by themselves, presumably, would come into existence spontaneously with no reason whatsoever and fully equipped with all the tools they need that they require. And they didn't require anybody else to accumulate money, even the banks to hold their money, or the concept of money to even be invented by other human beings, right? So the whole point of this rant that I'm presenting to you right now is that we are all connected and we take it for granted. We think that we are disconnected or that we don't need other people. We do. You do. There's no person on this planet that did it all by themselves completely and fully their entire lives. It's just not happening. Even learning things, right? Even if you learn how to live on your own without any human intervention, you had to learn that from other human beings at some point or other entities at some point. Wasn't blessed from somewhere above without any kind of medium going on. You can get blessings and knowledge from above, but again, that also involves other entities as well. They're just not human. So what humanity needs, especially now, is to understand how we're all connected, because that separation is really what's fueling a lot of the discontent and the chaos and the animosity and the negative things that are happening in the world, but also just on an individual level, like not understanding that we all need each other to live fruitful, joyful, peaceful lives. You lose that concept, then we get today, where people think that they're doing things by themselves. It's ironic too that we think if we coerce somebody or trick somebody or sell something to somebody, we don't need that person. No, you need customers, you need other people, you need employees. Like, there's nobody doing it by themselves. And we are never alone. And the more that we understand how powerful it is to connect with other people and work with other people as a team, peacefully, diplomatically, the more that we do this as a species, the more that we understand this on an individual level, the more cohesion and the more amazing things we can achieve as a species. Now, all of that to say, it always starts with the individual, because what is externally occurring in one's life, it can be reflected internally as well. So if there is this idea that I am doing everything by myself, or I don't need anybody, or I'm isolated, or I can't connect with other people, the first place to look is, ironically enough, not externally, not trying to get validation from other people or trying to change oneself or morph oneself into what other people, or what we think other people want us to be. It is to look inside oneself and to do the inner work to see, okay, how am I disconnected from myself? What parts of myself am I cutting off and not allowing to express themselves? How do I feel like I am isolated within my own being? Because again, the external is reflected in the internal, and the internal is reflected on the external. And so this concept, this egotistical, individualistic, finite way of thinking that we are just independent free will beings totally disconnected from everything else, like obviously not. We are bound by space and time at the very fundamental level of existence, along with the fact that we must be birthed and created by other beings and other entities. We are not first. I'm not talking to somebody, an entity who was the first to ever be created or to create. Just not reality. So no one is self-made. There is no such thing. There's no such thing truly, fundamentally, as separation. We're all interdependent, whether we like to acknowledge that or not. We're all dependent on each other to a certain level, to a certain degree. And the more that we can go with the flow of that understanding, that universal truth of the interconnectedness of everything around us, the less friction that we experience, the less stress and tension we experience, and the less we take advantage of others, and the less others will take advantage of us. We understand that. Because again, this concept, don't get it twisted, right? Some people will conflate this and think, oh, well, if I'm open and connected, well, that means I'm more vulnerable. That means I'm more gullible. And that means actually people are more likely to take advantage of me. No, because you use discernment. You use your understanding, your intention, and your will to make sure that even though you understand that everything is connected, that doesn't mean that you invite everything in. You understand that it is of the same substance, it is of the same thing, entity, God, universe, creation, Brahman, whilst also understanding that you are not an open book to other things. You connect consciously, not unconsciously. When you actually think that we're separate, you're other separate entity, that means you're going to find ways to connect with somebody subconsciously, with less consciousness. Let's say unconscious, because there's no such thing as unconscious. There's less consciousness, because everything is consciousness. So you will connect with people less consciously when you resist and believe that you're separate, or believe that nothing is connected. But when you are aware that we're all connected, and how even our own thoughts are being exchanged, and the vibes and the feelings, you walk into a room, you can feel connected to the space. You do psychedelics and you really feel it, right? Or you get into a meditative state, you do yoga, you go to a concert, you feel really connected to other entities, other things. The more aware you are of all that happening, the more you can redirect it when it is not serving you, when you might be subconsciously connecting with somebody who is not your friend, or who's not having your best interest in mind. Things to think about. Again, expanding your awareness, because we're all connecting in different ways, whether we like it or not. But the more awareness that you bring to yourself and others, and the subtle happenings underneath the cerebral mind, the egoic awareness, the more you can become aware of that, the more you can, let's say, consciously direct your connection. Because the connection is going to happen whether you want it or not. We're all dependent on each other, whether you want it or not. But you can curate that connection consciously through your awareness and intention and will by doing the inner work.